Questions anymore? Light reading, that one was sort of heavy, wasn't
Well,
it?
that was kind of interesting though, because you said at the very first time about this dream I had, and then just go ahead and tell it. It's almost like could almost be a short novel in itself of a variant view of what really happened and all that sort of, which is kind of fun.
Well, I had about this much data on a book I was writing about what I felt was the real true story before Dan Brown wrote his book that he made $1 billion off of. And then I had a big war with a power company, and that just fell by the wayside. And then by the time Dan Brown had done his, but the interesting thing is I think that my historical research was more accurate than Brown's. In fact, right after that book was published, we were in Paris, and I think, I don't know, how many of you read it? What was the name of that book?
Da Vinci Code.
Da Vinci Code. And I think that, wasn't it that maybe Mary Magdalene or something was buried under the Louvre Pyramid or something like that? I forget what it was. And there were all these people around the fountains, and they were reading this book and were all excited. So allegedly, Mary Magdalene's relics are located really near to the point where she's supposed to have spent the last years of her life in this cave. And we've walked up to that cave, what, a couple of times? And then the third time, we're too old and tired. But anyway, there is a crypt at is it a cathedral basilica in Saint Maximin le Saint Bon. And so according to legend or tradition, when Mary Magdalene died, she was buried in a Roman sarcophagus, which is in this crypt to this day. Well, there was only one guy, and he wasn't even down in the crypt. So when I climbed down into this crypt, rather than having all these hordes of people, because it didn't really say that Mary Magdalene's skull is where it really is alleged to be, then it was pretty intense sort of thing, especially if you've drunk a bottle or two of wine before you go down there. And then there are Mary Magdalene relics in Vézelay. So, we had a good time going around to the various places where it is alleged that she actually was. And I think Dan Brown could have done a better job if he had really gone through the real history of where, the history. There is, if you go to the internet and all,